Hello everyone. If you're watching this, you missed day one of our week 19 lecture in Foundations of Technology. Let's get to it. So this week we're continuing right where we left off in terms of discussing advertising, but we're also going to kind of branch out and talk about a little bit more in-depth things when it comes to product development, such as what kind of design philosophy you might be interested in pursuing while you're developing a new product, and material engineering, all accumulating in a product design activity where you're going to come up with your very own innovation, and then we're going to try to market it in a future lesson. To start off with, I gave you guys some time to work on your advertisement introduction assignment. That would be this one. There's already an explanation of what is expected of you here in a previous video, so please go watch that one if you're not sure what to do on assignment number 31. I did give you about half the class period to work on this one to start off with. From there, we went on to do a short talk, and then assignment number 32. Assignment number 32 is going to be due Friday the 15th. So let's go ahead and pick up right there. Now, in engineering and in design process in general, usually you want to use iterative techniques. Iterative means something that repeats itself. So you don't want to go with a very structured, straightforward linear plan because it might not work out and it would be very expensive to back up and restart or redo parts of it. Further, you want to have really good communication, and the best way to do that is to have continuous prototypes as you're developing your product that you can show your customers and they can get your feedback on. That way, you don't get into this situation where the customer explains something, but they don't communicate it clearly, and then you spend a lot of time designing something they don't want. That is a really important thing to avoid. So there are different ways you can kind of go about designing something. One would be the branching exploration method. This is where you might start with one idea, and then you can make several decisions, and depending on which decision you make, you then branch out from there and make further decisions. The problem with this method is it can be very expensive if you run into a snag. Let's say we go here, and we figure out, oh, well, this didn't work. We have to back up maybe several steps sometimes and try again. That could be very costly. That is why many people prefer, and depends on the kind of product you're developing, to go with this prototyping spiral method, sometimes it's called. This is where you start with a very general prototype. It just has the general outlines of what you're going for. And as you work and decide and finalize certain aspects of what you're going to make, you get closer and closer to the final design, and you can show it easier to customers this way. Now, of course, this might take longer than an approach like this. If you get lucky here, you could get it done really quickly. But on average, this is much less costly, as backing up here constantly would be, of course, a problem. Now, another thing to consider, in addition to your design philosophy, might be what materials you'd want to make your product out of. And with materials, you have all kinds of options available to you. You have metals, you've got ceramics, composites, glass, wood. All of these materials have various strengths and weaknesses that you might want to consider before making your final decision. For instance, functional properties. Are these materials going to serve the purpose of your innovation well in terms of their mechanical, physical, and chemical properties? Are they going to be water resistant if that's something you need? Are they going to be durable? Are they going to be flexible? Does that matter? You need to think about that. Manufacturing properties. So is it going to be easy to form whatever material you've chosen into the desired shape that your product needs? Or is it going to be very difficult? Is it going to be expensive to do this? And of course, going along with that, the cost of the raw material, as well as shaping it, is going to determine the bottom line for your product. So yes, you can make something that looks really nice, but is it going to be marketable if your price is going to be higher? You have to think about all of this when you're designing a brand new thing. So keeping all of that in mind, there is an entire career field called material engineering that's focused on discovering or implementing different materials in different fields, and you can read all about them here. They make a pretty good living, make a lot of money, so you can consider that as a career, potentially. Now, once you've understood all of this, we are going to do assignment 32. Assignment 32 is to design your own product. Over here, I have some guiding questions to get you started and thinking about what kind of products you like, and then ultimately, I want you to come up with an innovation. Now, you don't have to be able to physically create your innovation. You can make it out of whatever you want in your mind, metal, plastic, not necessarily things you'd normally be able to work with yourself. However, it cannot be fictional. It should be something you can actually create. So, for instance, you can't say, my innovation is a pill that makes you stronger. You have no idea how to make that, so that can't be it. However, if you say, my innovation is going to be a shoe with a sharp pencil sharpener on it, you could probably figure that out. Now, it might take you a while to figure out the right materials and to set up the supply line. You might not have the expertise to do that, but you could, in theory, create that product. So that is what I'm going for, something you could, in theory, create. Name your innovation, what problem does it solve, and give us a brief description of it. Then I need you to draw it for me. You can either draw it on a piece of paper and take a picture and put it in here. I would prefer that. If you can't do that for whatever reason, you certainly can use Google Draw. Simply hit Insert, Drawing, New, and you can draw using Google Draw. I won't be very harsh on these. I'm just looking for what does your ideal look like. Following that, we're going to get some feedback from our classmates. I've given you the first question here, which is how much would you be willing to pay for this product? That's an important research question to ask your customer base. But the other two I've left blank intentionally. You need to come up with two other questions that you as a marketing representative would be interested in researching prior to releasing your product. And then we're going to poll our classmates on these topics. And then lastly, you're probably going to want to make some changes based on the feedback you get. So we're going to do this last little bit here. If you have any questions about this assignment or anything else, please make sure you get in contact with me via mail. Otherwise, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time.